The world is changing. Truth is vanishing. War is coming.
It's been a long time, friend. You've no idea the power I represent. It knows your story and how it ends.
Listen to me. The world's coming after you.
His fate is written. Shall we write yours too?
If anything happens to them, there's no place that I won't go to kill you. That is written.
Hello, welcome to this What Do You Want to Watch Spoilercast for the 7th installment in the Mission Impossible film series, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1. I'm Ashley Hobley, and choosing to accept this mission is John Blight.
Happy to be here. Happy to accept this mission.
Yes. So, we're talking about the latest Mission Impossible movie. Did we do a Mission Impossible Rogue Nation spoilercast?
I don't actually remember, to be completely honest with you.
Sounds like something we would have done. Let me just quickly have a look. No, I don't think so. Not a spoilercast. We probably talked about it on the podcast. It hasn't been that long. So check that out somewhere. Thoughts about Mission Impossible, the series?
It's fantastic. Nearly all of them are good, but even the bad ones are entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of wish I'd done like a rewatch, but time.
Yeah, time, that was a problem, yeah.
Before the next one, am I right?
Yeah, we should, let's do that.
Done.
When's the next one out? Next year or the year after? I can't remember what the deal was.
I don't know if they've got a date.
Yeah, okay.
That is a good question. But while we figure that out, please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about plot themes and ending of the movie. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. Of course, it is playing in cinemas everywhere. Watch it and in IMAX while you can before Barbenheimer hits. All right, with that said, let's jump to our discussion of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1. Directed by McQuarrie, written by McQuarrie and Erik Jendresen, based on Mission Impossible by Bruce Geller, starring Tom Cruise, Hayley Atwell, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Vanessa Kirby, Czerny, Klementieff, and Esai Morales. Ethan Hunt and the IMF team must track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all of humanity if it falls into the wrong hands. With control of the future and the fate of the world at stake, a deadly race around the globe begins. Confronted by a mysterious, all-powerful enemy, Ethan is forced to consider that nothing can matter more than the mission, not even the lives of those he cares about most. Dylan, what did you think of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1?
Yeah, I mean, it was another really good Mission Impossible movie. This is the summer, this is what action blockbusters should be as far as I'm concerned. This is what we should be considering an action blockbuster. It's fantastic action. Fantastic characters again. I have a few problems. I hate that they killed off Ilsa. That was shit. And then I would say that it's not that the pacing's bad. It's just that because it's a 2 movie, I feel like they had such a rhythm of the last couple, and especially with what was the last one? Rogue Nation. Especially Rogue Nation, they had such a
Fallout was the last one.
Fallout. I feel like they hit the perfect sort of rhythm to the narrative and combination of action. But then this one, because they're doing the 2 movie thing, and I would say that there is a good amount of they at least get the key enables like they get it by the end, so there's you're closing to this film. But yeah, I would say the rhythm that they'd sort of hit and worked on for the past few movies, this one feels a little bit off because of that. And maybe it's not a bad thing, but yeah, it definitely stood out to me somewhat. They're my 2 negatives, I guess, but otherwise, really good shit.
I had a really good time with this one as well. I thought this movie was only 2-something hours long, apparently. And then I'm watching it enjoying it, having a great time. Credits start rolling. Look at the time. Holy shit! It's start a movie. Started at 7:30. It's 10:30. What happened to the time? It just flew by. And it's kind of what you want. You know? It's a long movie that didn't feel like a long movie.
2 hours 43.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Great performances across the board. I would say there is some clunky dialogue. There's a lot of talk of AI and theorizing of what AI would do and think about.
That may be a make it or break it for some people, the AI centric.
Do you feel like the AI centricness just feels a little bit on the nose given where we are in history right now with AI?
I don't feel like it feels on the nose. I just feel like it fits. Like they used to make movies about the Cold War. You know, like I don't know. Like I feel like it's fine. I would agree, yes, some of the dialogue's clunky, but no different than the dialogue is clunky at times in other movies. I think it just stands out because they're not talking about bombs or like stuff we're sort of used to in these sorts of movies. They're talking about this AI algorithm watching everything, which I think has sort of become a bit of a joke, and like it's like usually stuff like this is like haha, very funny, but they like obviously it's treated with full seriousness. I didn't mind it, but I can see it being this is a bit stupid to some people.
No. Just some of the crazy cinematography, action set pieces.
The Dutch camera angles.
Sorry?
Million Dutch camera angles in this film. More so than I feel like I've seen since like the first one.
Just love them Dutch cinematographer. I don't know. I enjoyed the progression of like the team. I agree. I'm disappointed that they killed off Ilsa.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just especially when they did the fake out at the start of the film.
Yeah, fucking.
You can't have a fake out and then kill her.
And then do it. Yeah, come on.
That's kind of shitty. But you know, I think Chris McQuarrie like did a good in this movie. They didn't do it dirty. They made it look as freaking cool as possible. Trying to get her the role in the Metal Gear Solid movie. Am I right? Yeah. Run around with the eye patch.
Sure.
Going around with a sword. He's got a sword in this.
Maybe.
You know. That.
I mean, something. I think it's just that. I don't know. Like I don't know if it was we better kill someone to have this movie have something. But honestly, if that was the case, I would have preferred them to kill off. I don't know.
Would you have preferred they killed off Ving or Simon Pegg?
Yeah, Ving probably. Yeah, Ving.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like Rebecca Ferguson's got more stuff.
Well, that's the problem. Like, is it just because she's got so much on?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. There was only one more movie. You couldn't stick around.
Come on.
It also ties into the weird thing of all the women in Ethan Hunt's life being murdered to get to him.
Yes.
Which they specifically bring up and feels like really should be like a problematic element of the series.
First movie, wife dead or girlfriend, whatever.
The love interest dead.
Love interest dead. Third movie, love interest.
What happened to the one in the second?
I don't actually remember if there was in the second one. Oh yeah, Fanny Newton, right? But I don't actually remember. I've watched it for ages. Third one, hidden away. We discover, but basically,
but also
dead.
Female.
Fridge
trainee, yeah. Protege dead,
and then after that they get rid of the love interest, I guess, and then they bring in her as a love interest, and then they kill her.
Yes. And also they introduced a history of Ethan Hunt, a prelude, because you know if you're going to finish a series, it always needs to go back to the beginning. And it seems like his introduction to the IMF involves the killing of a close related loved one. When you were watching that, you're like, is this something we've seen before?
I was like, is it from the first movie? I don't remember it.
Like, nah. I'm pretty sure they didn't bring this dude back 30 years later to be the bad guy.
I was like, as soon as I left the theater, I looked it up. I was like, am I forgetting something? But no.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting element of it. Like I don't think they've ever talked about this, the oath or the code.
I mean, they briefly touched on it and stuff, but
I don't think they've like ever addressed directly what the IMF is as much as they do in this movie.
no. But I like how they say it out loud and it makes everyone laugh. That's quite funny.
What, in the scene with every single character actor who's been around in the last
Yep.
5 years?
Yep.
Old mate from
Possible
Top Gun
mission.
got promoted to be head of a defense force agency with Carrie Eels. Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy. That was, I will say, I love that opening. Like the lead into the opening credits.
What, the 40-minute prologue?
Yeah. You know, we do get a massive submarine sequence. And then we get him breaking into. It turns out he's in that room the entire time
Such
with
a
the
long...
shadiest dude.
Yeah.
But I thought that was like, it set up like the idea of the algorithm and everything, the entity, which, you know, solid name.
Yeah.
Set everything up and also set up the two bad guys kind of in that room. They're both too shady. You knew both of them were doing shady shit. But yeah, I thought, interesting, you know, they bring up the IMF stuff, finally kind of delving into it a little bit. I hope they dive into it a bit more in the next one. Like, who is actually doing who is actually running IMF? Who's putting these cars in different places? Why are all these face things shit? Why do they keep breaking?
I like how what's his name? Shea Wingham? Whatever.
Yeah.
I like how he's like constantly just trying to rip at people's faces this entire movie.
Was he in a previous one?
No.
So he's what? I need to know, why is he so upset with Ethan Hunt?
I don't know.
He's very angry. Although his partner, Dagus, you know, he lays it out correctly. What if every time he went rogue every single time for good reasons?
Yeah, it's true.
This movie, like a lot of movies, they like clearly point out all the like points, dings against it, like all the recurring points. But it didn't feel like a negative, like too on the nose or anything. It's like
no,
super enjoyable. Obviously, the big addition to the cast, Hayley Atwell as Grace. What do we think of Hayley Atwell in this film?
Loved her. I thought she was absolutely fantastic. Hayley Atwell's I don't want to say underrated actor, because I feel like anyone who's watching anything more than just Marvel Captain America knows that she's very good. Or even at least watched the Agent Carter series, I guess, to get to see her do a little bit more. But yeah, Hayley Atwell's very, very good in this. And I'm glad to see she gets a platform to reach a bigger, I guess, a more mainstream, audience would be the way to go. Become an action star of her own, sort of thing.
Yeah, because she hasn't really done anything massive outside of, you know, the Peggy Carter stuff, which is kind of crazy. You know, you thought she would have sprungboarded herself into some sort of franchise.
She has.
Well, she has now. So perfect timing. Yeah, I loved her. I love the whole sleight of hand. Who knew sleight of hand magic would play a big part in the final parts of Mission Impossible. With all the pickpocketing. Yeah, and just her playfulness, I guess, with Tom Cruise's, with Ethan. That was really fun to watch, you know. But, you know, we're really here for the action sequences. So what was your pick of action sequences?
That's a hard one, eh? I think I actually really thought the train at the end, the Uncharted sequence.
Uncharted sequence,
yeah, I really enjoyed the Uncharted sequence, I'd say. The bike thing was really cool, but I guess it's because I've seen it so much at this point.
It was promoted
not to say it was not good. Like, it was still good to watch, and it still made my heart like sort of drop for a moment when he went off. But
yeah,
I feel like the train thing, seeing that in full. I knew they flew a train off a bridge and did all that because I've seen that behind the scenes footage. But seeing that whole play out in a sequence of them climbing up and everything, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, absolutely. And they shot it as well as they possibly could have. Like that Tom Cruise jump, like they had at least 5-6 cameras running at the same time. I think the craziest part is him acting on the way down, which I'm assuming is all still part of that jump. It wasn't a separate jump.
Well, I mean, they did several jumps, so
okay, yeah,
they did more than one jump.
Obviously they cut to him from several angles, and then you get the close up, and then the sound hits, which I think was the craziest part. It's like because it's like Deathly Silent when he jumps off the mountain, and then the wind noise kicks in.
It would have been. I mean, they would have been sitting in the editing room trying to like think of the best way to put that scene together.
Because you can't really, unless you've got you time the wind coming, like building up with the fall. I don't know. Yeah, that would have been tricky, but yeah, crazy stunt. I think the train carriage sequence really good, but I did love the chase through Rome, even though, as I pointed out on Twitter, is crazy. Those same steps.
I was thinking the exact same thing watching it because I only rewatched Fast and Furious 10 like the night prior, I think, or like 2 nights prior. So it's very fresh in my mind, and then I'm watching this and I'm going,
this looks familiar.
Is that? It is. It's the exact same fucking place. Right, okay.
It's crazy. Like, I need to know. Did somebody not mention to the other place?
I guess they're just they have to, like, that must be a famous.
Yeah, it's I looked it up. It's the Spanish Steps in Rome.
Okay.
But, if one massive production is there, wouldn't you think the other one would be like, oh, they must be using it. Let's do something else.
I think it's just because they're so closely together. Like, it wouldn't be as weird if they were, like, a bigger time apart. You wouldn't even think about it. It's just,
No, I love to think they're in the same universe and, like, they just finished repairing it. And then
they're like, a bomb just went off.
This is massive ball. Just roll through it. They've got this freaking VW going around. But yeah, I love that chase sequence. I think, I love the fact that they set up like near instantly that Hayley Atwell cannot drive. And then she has to drive for a large portion because they've handcuffed themselves together. This film has a ridiculous amount of comedy. I feel like the comedic beats landed maybe more than any Mission Impossible movie.
Oh no, you don't have to go back because
it's hard,
especially the first few when they introduced Simon Pegg, they did add a fair bit of comedy.
Yeah, but even like this, like even with like him coming in with the parachute, taking out the dude, and then the parachute catches and it takes out the other dude. Yeah, lots of.
Well, no, Hayley Atwell doing burnouts and Pom Klementieff, her just like looking at me like, what the fuck?
Trying to just start her car.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a addition to, that car. Iconic. just so terrible. But yeah. And then them escaping through like the randomest side alley to a train track. Yeah.
Yep.
That was really cool. Yeah, what do we think of? So we've got the big bad Gabriel, played by who was it? Is Esai Morales? I'm gonna go with. And then his sidekick, played by Pom Klementieff, who people would know as Mantis, probably unrecognizable, but yeah, I thought she was fantastic. Like, serious threat throughout the entire movie. Although she gives the classic face turn at the end.
Yeah, saw it coming.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit.
She came from.
I mean,
been talking to Dave Bautista a bit too much, you know.
The Anthony called it, so
true. I really enjoyed her. I thought she was good in this. So, I mean, there wasn't much to her character, but she was fun. She looked cool.
She did look cool. She looked scary as well.
Yeah,
intimidating. But yeah, what did we think of old Gabriel?
Also, she actually speaks French in this.
I mean, she's French.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing. Like, I haven't seen her speak French in any of her American films, I guess. So, what do we think of Gabriel? Gabriel was fine. I mean, yeah. I I would say he's so far. I don't think he's anywhere near as interesting as the bad guy from the past film. Well, those two films,
Henry
whatever
Cup.
his name was. But
No,
hey?
Solomon.
That's
Sean
it.
Harris,
Solomon Grundy. Yeah, Sean Harris. He was a really good bad guy, I thought so. Across those two films, he felt like a proper.
Well,
threat.
this guy is a conduit really for the proper bad guy.
Yeah, that's just the thing, isn't it?
Although it was weird that they've got that one shot of him coming outside like a coffin thing, where you're just in contact with the algorithm, I'm guessing, the entity. But yeah, it was fine. He did the job. The sole job of being in positions to cause Ethan Hunt pain. He did have that solid knife fight with
Grace?
with Ilsa.
And then the sword fight with Ilsa?
Yeah. And then they fight on the train. That was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
And then he does the trust fall.
Yeah. I just like how then he seems so out of emotion, and then the last time we seen the movie, he's like, Ethan!
I mean, the only thing is, like, him being tied into Ethan's past, like, him being responsible for Ethan becoming the person that he is, weirdly. Like, it implies that he, like, framed Ethan for the death of his girlfriend or something. And then from that, Ethan joined the IMF, and then crazy shit happened from there. So, there's a really, like, fantastic movie. Had a great time. I love the whole airport sequence. That was really good as well. Like them tracking everybody, and also they're trying to they think there's a nuclear bomb about to go off that they don't tell Ethan about.
It's quite funny. Like, it's good. Like, well, we can't say it because if we say it, then algorithm. Like, that's the part where I think people may get lost with this movie, is the whole, like, going into the very, like, well, we can't say that because then they may think we're doing that, but then the algorithm may think this, but then we're playing into it if we do this.
Yeah, just trying to learn our secrets.
Yeah,
that was really cool. And then there's so much. Do you think overs or unders? This is the most Tom Cruise running in any film.
Under.
I don't know. He has that really long sequence where he's running on top of the Dubai airport.
Still going under.
Yeah.
Someone will work it out, I'm sure.
They did, like, apparently they did a super Paramount did like a kind of like a super part.
They did. It goes for like 7 minutes.
Yeah, but I feel like I did like a quick look. I don't think they included all the running.
No. Just the cool parts.
The cool parts of running. But yeah, he did a lot of running. Any other final thoughts on this film?
No, yeah, good. I'd probably rank it in the middle, which isn't so, like, that's not taking away from saying it's good, but like there's a lot of really good Mission Impossible movies. So yeah, I'd probably put it around the middle-ish somewhere. I haven't done an actual proper ranking, but probably around the middle-ish, and I'm keen for part 2.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, it really didn't have that many missions in it, Normally in these they have like a lot of parts and a lot of set pieces and that kind of stuff. It was kind of smaller, I guess, weirdly. Like, they had the massive chase sequence, which took up a lot of portion. They had the big opening and the big fight in the desert, I guess. That used up a fair bit of time, and then this massive train sequence, which was a lot of fun with Grace pretending to be Vanessa Kirby's character.
Vanessa Kirby was really good again.
Yeah, for what she needed to do, like playing the dual parts at that point. That was really delightful. But yeah, Dylan, are you excited for the next film to be all about finding a submarine?
Not really, but it also means I'm like, is Tom Cruise going to drown filming something for the submarine part? Like,
he's like he saw Kate Winslet broke his record. He's like, fuck.
Yeah. Fuck it.
I don't know.
I'm going to do a stunt where I hold my breath for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we actually just film it underground. And
if I drown, I drown.
If I drown, I drown.
I'm going to swim from the top here to the bottom of the ocean.
Yep.
Without tank.
What I'm going to do is get in a really tiny submarine, and I'm going to go down to the Titanic.
It's going to be like cobbled together with
we couple together.
parts from my garage.
Yeah,
And it'll be fine. We'll find the submarine in the middle of nowhere. How do we feel about this being a part 1?
I don't really. I mean, it's fine. I feel like obviously, I don't know if they set out some weird thing like let's make a 2-part movie for the sake of it. I feel like they like obviously was trying to craft the story, and it just got so large that they decided they'll do a 2-parter, and why not? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel of the like we've had like 3 part 1 movies come out this year.
I think I'm gonna say I don't know if this is a hot take. I think this is the best part 1 movie.
I think this is the most complete movie of the 3.
Yeah,
this is the one that has me least. It's raised my expectations for the next one the least. I'm like, oh, the next one is going to be the same level. The other 2, I'm like, I can't wait to see what happens after this. You know what I mean?
Well, this is that's the thing. So the other two, Spider-Man and Fast and Furious, they end on pretty big cliffhangers. Where this one, there's more story to go, but it's a complete they get the key, they get it's like we know where we're going next, but like it's an ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's the best overall film. Like because my complaints with those other ones is especially Spider-Man. I feel like feels like a really incomplete film, and I didn't get enough from it. Fast and Furious is Fast and Furious, so like it's never going to be as good as those other 2 films. So that sort of gets placed in 3rd. But I don't mind the cliffhanger on that one, and I actually think that's I think cliffhanger works fine. But yeah, I'd say that's why I'd go this Spider-Man and then Fast would be my ranking.
I probably have to begrudgingly agree. So I love Spider-Man. Yeah. All right, let us know what you thought of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's a mouthful. By possibly finding us still on Twitter at explosion.com/Twitter. Or you can definitely find us on Discord by going to explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars. And you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you have enjoyed this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko page at explosion.com/supports. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.